Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelove, and this is Speedplay Netherlands number 9. So, we have a bit of an issue. We need, first of all, we're going to finish this war in the New World, and get all of our forces ready to be shipped off to the Old, but what we need to do is get Connacht and Scotland vassalized in order to set the stage for our war against the English. Now, in order to declare war on Scotland, we're going to have to find a way to not get the French to join, as the French are allied to both Scotland and us, and they will naturally join the defender. So, I have been attempting to find a nation that we could declare war on. We can declare war on Connacht, and Scotland's allied to Connacht and will join their call to arms, and the French are allied to us and join ours. So just like that, we have a war in which Scotland is a defender, and yet the French are on our side anyway, so that works out fantastically. And we just have to wait until we siege their forts in order to move our armies forward. We do go ahead and ship our boats over so that once we do complete these sieges, we can get our forces over to Connacht. The Scottish attack us, and we attempt to send our reinforcing forces up, but we've won the battle before they arrive. So there isn't actually very much that we need to worry about in the terms of actually winning this war. And all we have to do is wait for this next province to siege out. It's kind of interesting how the Scottish made that work, as they have just 2 forts in a direct line. We do get a second colony just for free. And we'll go ahead and, as soon as this siege is complete, split our second army up a little bit, immediately siege out the 2 remaining provinces on their mainland. We do send our army, instead of sending it to the Old World, we just send it up to deal with the new colonies. We win this battle against their army. We stack wipe them as we have ships out to sea so they can't retreat. And we go ahead and get our armies ready to move over into Connacht itself. They do have a significant army that I don't want to fight when we land, but we can just drop right on their capital and begin sieging them out. We also have to go ahead and deal with this Scottish island, so we go ahead and send our forces up to do that. And then we'll gather the remainder of our armies, land them lower and join with the French, and destroy their army. We go ahead and kill the natives in the New World, and just like that, we're about ready to finish this war. We just have the slight issue of one of their colonies, so we'll send a force over to deal with that, as we want to not waste any of our war score on taking this island, so we go ahead and seize it. And now Scotland is too big to vassalize, which is a bit of a bummer. We'll go ahead and just take their islands. That way, in the next war, we will be able to just vassalize them. It will slow us down a bit, though. We are able to both vassalize and convert Connacht, which is great news. We won't have to worry about a relations hit for being wrong religions. And just like that, we're basically free to focus on something else while we wait for the truce with the Scots to wind down. I don't want to declare war on the English until we have the Scottish on our side as well, as really the goal for this island is to just vassal feed the Scots and Connacht, the rest of the island. So we'll go ahead and focus on South America for a short while. We do have a rather significant army and navy to transport it, so we'll go ahead and get that ready. We do have our forces scattered on a few islands, so we go ahead and just pick them up. And we'll leave them either on Connacht or our little base in North England. But what we will do is also take a small force, or at the very least the transports, over to the New World in order to begin an invasion of South America. Now, no other Europeans are there quite yet, so it is very lucky. We do already have a colony set up as a base of operations, although our force there is not large enough to really be comfortable attacking. But with this new force shipped over, we'll go ahead and join them together, and just like that, we're ready to go. And note that the French will join this war if we call them in. We don't, but that is very good news for the future if we do have to worry about getting a phony war set up so the French won't join against us. And we go ahead and begin moving our forces south. We just completely dominate the natives in any battle, so it's a very good thing that we got our forces there first, as really any other European power could have just taken this region over by sending the troops down and walking from one end to the other, which is essentially going to be the game plan right now. Now we do have to worry about their small force up in the north. I'm not entirely sure why I re-sieged that province, seeing as it just goes away immediately. Connaught has a Pretender rebellion, but that's not really going to affect us very much, so we don't really do anything about it. Meanwhile, the natives send a force back up to unsiege that province, which is just a bit of a hassle. We go ahead and just deal with these sieges first, as really we can just go back up and re-siege those provinces. We do go ahead and send a task force up to deal with that though, which it does manage to successfully do. However, we don't stack wipe them, so we have to chase them back and forth, and that ends up happening quite a few times actually, which is a bit surprising. And they do end up landing on a place where they can take in a month, which they do go ahead and do. Luckily at this point we've nearly finished all of the sieges, so we're able to direct forces from the south. And we do fully annex the southernmost country that we're at war with, and we'll just take the coastlines of the remaining countries. That way no other Europeans will have easy access. And with that done, we'll go ahead and set up cores for those areas, seize the final one, and since a colonial nation will form, we just begin sending missionaries so that once it does form, it'll have actual Protestants and it won't have to be so very weak on the beginning. So with that set up, we're going to go ahead and ship our fleet back over. We do have a bit of an issue in that the French are allied to the Scots. However, we've discovered a new native nation which will work very well as it borders the French, so they won't have any distant war malice towards joining, and we'll just go ahead and declare war on Muisca, call the French to arms against them, and just like that the French will be in a war on our side and therefore unable to join the Scots. So we do go ahead and declare that war. The French do go ahead and join us, both great things. We go ahead and get our forces ready for this new war. We declare it. We split our army in two stacks. We attack, and the Scots move to the one province we're not occupying and that we can't actually get to easily, but we just drop our forces and very narrowly win the battle and just destroy them in the subsequent engagement. And just like that, the Scots are essentially subjugated. We just need to siege this one remaining province, and we start building up our army for the coming invasion of England. Now, admittedly, we maybe shouldn't have stack wiped them, as we do kind of want their army to help, but we'll just build an even larger army. We do go ahead and vassalize the Scots. So now every nation in Great Britain, except for the English, are our vassal. Apparently this is 2 colonial nations, so we go ahead and begin coring those 4 we'd taken previously. It's entirely my mistake, but it won't really set us back too much. And those regions are still Protestant. We do get a colonial nation out of the southern regions, so we'll go ahead and give that a quick name. And just like that, we have a new target for New World ambitions, which will be all of the all of the native nations surrounding it. And we go ahead and declare this war against the English, calling in the vast majority of our allies and vassals. And if you look at the diplomatic map mode, we are in a great spot. The English army won't even attack us, which is fantastic news and kind of hints that we have basically dominance over the region. Also, Connaught has claims over a lot of English land, which is great news, and will really make it easier for us to feed them this land. Meanwhile, Denmark is the only country not joining us, and that's due to their debts. We have enough money from our New World conquests that we can just easily pay it off, and that way call them to arms, making it so that wherever we have an enemy, we have an ally willing to fight them. And next time we'll go ahead and win this war. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.